Can Real Madrid still come back against PSG? Can Salzburg and Benfica maybe pull off surprises? Who's gonna advance in the battle of the out-of-form teams, Atletico or Manchester United? And is it all over already for the likes of Inter and Sporting? There is so much on the table when the second leg comes in the UCL round of 16 next week. So let's have a look together at these thrillers that will decide the last 8, the European elite of this season. My predictions for those games. Back in the UCL predictor, first of all, let's have a quick look at how we did last week. And you can already see Paris Saint-Germain against Real Madrid. I predicted a draw. It was going super well until the very last minute when Kylian Mbappe, at least this one I got right, scored for PSG. So these two were right, 3 points. Here I used my booster for the Sporting City game and I didn't get the score right, just the correct team winning. Well, that was very obvious. But also here, first team to score and the first player to score, Mahrez, was correct. So 12 points for me. Very, very vital. Another 5 points came in the Inter against Liverpool game. But then Salzburg Bayern, I think most of us did not get that right. We all thought Bayern would get an away win. But Salzburg, to be honest, they played very, very well. They surprised me there. And the second week was not that successful. Villarreal against Juventus, sadly, nothing really correct except for that one Villarreal goal. 1 point, thank you. Then Chelsea Lille, I think the clean sheet was obvious. I also did that in my fantasy team. And here I predicted a clean sheet as well. That paid off. Atletico Man United, sadly, only 1 point. And Benfica Ajax, though. This was my proudest moment of that first leg. I got the correct score. Where are the Ajax fans who roasted the hell out of me for disrespecting their club in the comment section of the first video? I just want to have a quick chat with you guys. Let me have this proud moment, please. I got the correct score. So overall, we have 36 points in this round of 16 first leg. And that takes us up to 157th in our prediction league. It does say I went down here because I was even a little bit higher after the first week. But overall, from after the group stages to now, I went from 201st, I think, up almost 50 spots. And that is pretty cool. For context, we have around 900 members in the league right now. Let's get that to 1k, guys. Would be sick. First link in the description to still join us. It's absolutely free. Just one rule, though. Don't be... But no, never mind. I told you we want to get into that top 100, and for that, we need correct predictions. Let's get straight into the games. Bayern against Salzburg is the first one. And we have to be honest, Bayern are not in an amazing form right now. We all expected more from them away in Austria, even though a draw at the end was still okay. But overall, also in the Bundesliga, they're not in their best form. They're not that peak Bayern that we are used to. So could it be possible, maybe the biggest UCL favorite alongside Man City, maybe PSG, getting knocked out against a team that has never ever been in the round of 16 before? Well, to be honest with you, I still think Bayern will get the job done. Maybe not with a 4-5-6-0 as they would have done maybe 2 years ago. I have to say I'm not entirely sure if we're predicting after 90 minutes here or if we are also predicting a possible extra time. I have not found any information on that. I searched the whole internet, so if any one of you knows that, let me know in the comments. Anyway, for this game it doesn't really matter. Bayern will also win in 90 minutes, so there won't be extra time. And I'm going with a 3-1 for the Bavarians. It's also among the popular predictions, but I can just see it happening. Salzburg, they might score. Bayern are not the best at clean sheets lately, but the first team to score will be Bayern for me. And the first player to score, there's no underdog bonus, so I'm going with a Lewandowski mainstream prediction. And a 3-1 Bayern, and they are going to be the first team in the last 8, even though they're struggling, but this should still be feasible without any disrespect to Salzburg, who are a great side. Then a game that is much more decided already. Is it though? Liverpool won 2-0 at San Siro in Milano, and actually Inter weren't bad at all. They were very, very good. Liverpool just way more clinical, which was very unfortunate for Inter, but at Anfield I don't see them coming back, especially now with the recent form that Inter are in. They have given up the top spot in Serie A for now, and there are first signs of them starting to bottle the season. So if they were in a great form right now, also in the league, and really impressing, I maybe would have gone for a draw. This way though, I do think Liverpool, especially the crazy way that they are playing right now, they are on fire lately, really. They will win this as well, and I'm going for another 2-0 actually, which is also popular. Man, this always triggers me, but you can't always go against the trend. You sometimes also have to follow pure logic. First player to score will be interesting though. I might actually go for my man who I have on Sorare, Luis Diaz. I don't even know if he will play. If I see he's not going to play, then I'm going to change that. But for now, I'm going to go with Luis Diaz. Just don't want to pick the mainstream Salah. I think Luis Diaz is going to do very well for Liverpool in the upcoming years, and already now he's impressing. I'm gonna go for Diaz, man. So the Reds are the second team in the last 8 alongside Bayern, and now we're moving on to a game that actually is the most decided of them all. 5-0 for City at the Estadio José Alvalade in Lisbon. So if they already won 5-0 in Portugal, what are they going to do at the Etihad? City absolutely impressing. I hope they will show some mercy this time. They're going to take it a little bit easy. I think they're not going to go all in. They just want to save energy for the Premier League title race, which is still important. This game is already decided. So 2-0 could be possible. Maybe we're going for something that is not in the popular ones. Well, 2-0 is. You know what? Then I'm going to go for a 1-0 only, which I don't think is the most likely. But in those games that are already decided, you know anything can happen. I still remember last season when Man United won 6-2 against Roma in the first leg, and then they lost the second one 3-2, which is kind of typical for these games. When the first one is a thrashing, the second one is a random score. Sporting will just do everything to limit the humiliation, and Man City won't be asked to go all in. So 1-0 should be cool. The scorer of this goal is going to be... I'm going Riyad Mahrez once again. Trusted in him last time, and it was correct. Was it correct? Yeah, it was correct. He's on penalties as well most of the time, so possibly that. And I'm going to go 1-0 City with Riyad Mahrez sealing that game for them. And now we get to the first real thriller. Probably the biggest second leg game of this whole round of 16, since that one is really damn wide open. So I did predict Real Madrid to go to the quarterfinals. But now after that first game in Paris, where they really did close to nothing other than just defending, and conceding that late goal, also losing Casemiro due to a yellow card ban, which is going to be very tough for them to cope with. Boy, are they still going to turn it around at the Bernabeu? The popular predictions actually differ a lot. Pretty much 50-50 here. PSG, they played a great game against Real Madrid. Tactically, PSG were far superior. Shout out to Pochettino there. They always had the numerical advantage in midfield, and that allowed them to create and control that whole midfield, and also the beginning of the final third. That was really very remarkable for me in that first leg. But I think Ancelotti will obviously pursue a different approach at home because they need a win. I'm going to say 1-0 Real Madrid, and that means we are going to penalties after all. And I think that would be incredible. We're going to see more extra times and way more penalty shootouts now that the away goal rule is scrapped. And this might as well be the first one. Without Casemiro, of course, it's going to be tough. But I also trust in Fede Valverde, in my opinion, who's probably going to replace him there. I'm going to be in Portugal, Madeira, while you're watching this and while this game is going on. So we're going to watch this with the lads. Extremely hyped to see how this turns out. The first player to score, and also the only player to score in this game, is going to be Vinicius Junior. And we are moving on to the second leg, week 2, with the other 4 games. The first one being Ajax against Benfica. Already talked about it earlier. I predicted a 2-2 in the first leg. Ajax fans roasted me. I do think, by the way, much respect to Ajax, doing incredible this year. Insane. But Ajax fans, you kind of need to calm down. I feel like you're a little bit overconfident, getting a little bit cocky. Just my honest opinion. I think Feyenoord and PSV fans will agree with me there. You've won your first 6 games, but you're not invincible at all, and Benfica showed that to you. Just wanted to get that off my chest, but I still think that Ajax will win in Amsterdam. I say it's going to be very close, and we will all say these two both deserve to stay in the last 8, really. I'm already saying this now. I want to see both of them in the last 8 over a team like Atletico or Man United, who, in my opinion, both do not deserve it. But it's sadly not possible, so I'm going for a very close Ajax win. The first team to score, Benfica for me, and the first player to score, Darwin, where are you? Nunes. Insane talent from Uruguay, played a great game in the first leg as well. I think he's going to score, but after all, then Ajax will turn it around. I'm going to be back in Germany when that one happens, and I'm going to watch that very closely. And it's at the same time as this one, actually, which I just talked about. In my opinion, the complete opposite of Ajax Benfica. Neither of these teams deserve to be in the last 8, man, because they simply suck this season. But one of them is going to be in it, and who is it going to be? Man United or Atletico? Going to be quick with you. I'm going for that 0-0 and that extra time. I believe Atletico will play their dirtiest football. Defend 90, 120 minutes possibly. That is just pure Diego Simeone. Man United will most likely control this game, dominate this game at home. Would be a shame if they didn't, really. But I have a feeling that they won't be able to score. After all, it could be United going through on pens, which I would love to see. All this drama watching this game. I just realized I barely ever predict a 0-0, and it happens. So why not predict it here? Okay, now we get to the 2 last matches that kind of have the lowest hype in this UCL round of 16. Lille against Chelsea, first game at Stamford Bridge. It was a comfortable 2-0 home win for the Blues. Was more or less expected. Seeing them keep a clean sheet was obvious. Was very refreshing seeing Kai Havertz do well in that false 9 role between the lines, which I think he had to play from the very beginning, just as a side note. And I do think Chelsea will advance to the last 8 as well, after all. Now in France, though, don't necessarily think that they will get another win. I could imagine a draw, which no one says here, by the way. That is really surprising, because Lille, they're not not a tiny team to joke around with. They can actually compete. Obviously, another clean sheet for Chelsea would be great for my Chelsea defenders and the fantasy team, but I still say 1-1. And the first team to score for me, I'm gonna go Lille. They're gonna start with a lot of energy and people think, oh my god, they might come back here. But then I could imagine Chelsea managing to slow down the game, taking over that control again, then also scoring, possibly in a crucial moment of the game where Lille were currently really pressing, and with that, yeah, sort of crushing their hopes. And the first player to score for me, Jonathan David, Lille's best attacker by far. Booster, by the way, still have to decide that later. But first of all, we're going to the last game, which is also the one that interests me personally the most. Juventus against Villarreal. In Spain, the Bianconeri got a draw, which was kind of lucky. Villarreal were actually the better team, the more active team, and the team that definitely came closer to the win. I think I might do what I originally wanted to avoid at all costs. Predicting Juventus, oh my god, this sounds scary to me, to go to a quarter-final in the Champions League. Phew, I actually predicted Villarreal to go through initially in December. Juventus have become significantly stronger since then, and it's always the hope that kills you after all, right? I sympathize for Juventus because my dad supports them. They're my second team after HSV, and I always have the hope that they might do well in the UCL again, but they always disappoint. This time though, Vlahovic, he's just a baller, let's be honest. He is just a goal machine. Cristiano Ronaldo, no need for him anymore. Vlahovic replaces him perfectly. Zakaria is a great player when fit. And so I think that Juventus that we're watching right now are not the same as the Juventus from the start of the season. I'm going for a 1-0 Juventus home win. Please don't disappoint me again, because I always say never gonna predict Juve again to win in the round of 16, and then I always do that again. It's my prediction though. Vlahovic gonna be the player to score as well, finishing top 4 in Serie A, winning maybe the Coppa Italia, and going to the quarterfinal after that. I'm pretty sure they will be knocked out by one of the giants that we talked about earlier. But those are my eight predictions for next week, and now we still have to decide where we're going to use our double booster. Which game am I really confident in? We have Bayern doing their homework and getting a home win against Salzburg. We have Liverpool with another 2-0 over Inter at Anfield now. We have Man City slowing down the engine and showing mercy to Sporting and only winning 1-0. We have Real Madrid equalizing on aggregate and going to extra time to penalties even maybe. We have Benfica coming very close to getting that surprise against Ajax, but then in Amsterdam, the Dutch champions going through in a wild game. Then the two teams that both don't deserve to be in the quarterfinals. Lille stepping up and getting a draw against Chelsea, but not quite winning against them and turning that around. And Juventus, that one is not going to be my booster for sure. Like, I'm not sure about this one at all. You know, I'm going to go for the Bayern one. I will go for this one. I just cannot imagine Bayern not winning this. Bayern not getting knocked out even. No, this is not happening. And what a round of 16 that would be as well. Bayern with Liverpool, with Man City, with either PSG or Real Madrid, with Ajax, with Manchester United or Atletico, and then Chelsea and Juventus. Really the peak of European football right now. There could very well be at least 1 or 2 upsets, and I would also appreciate that, but those are my picks that I think are the most logical and that I choose for the second leg to get that top 100 in our prediction league. As always, you guys let me know all your predictions in the comments if you want to reveal them. I am incredibly hyped also for the Europa League, by the way, so if you guys want me to make Europa League predictions for this season, because I think it's the best Europa League season we've seen in a long time, possibly ever, then tell me that in the comments as well. Hashtag Europa League Fiago. But for now, Champions League prediction Fiago is out. Peace.